This friendship bracelet, a bordered chevron, is really fancy, and we've added some beads to this one to also increase its complexity. If you have never made a friendship bracelet before, or if you're a little bit rusty, this one is not the bracelet to start with. So what you want to do is go back and do a simple stripe friendship bracelet or the chevron bracelet to start, and then you can move up to a more advanced bracelet like this. The links for those two bracelets are in the comments below. So go try one of those. If you haven't done it in a while, come back when you're ready. For this bracelet, you will need 4 colors of embroidery floss, a few beads with holes big enough to fit through 2 strands of the embroidery floss, a clipboard or a piece of tape or a safety pin, just something to secure the bracelet as you work, a pair of scissors, and a ruler. Those of you who are ready to master the more complicated design. For my floss, I'm going to measure out about 6 feet of each color. So the easiest way for me is to just measure 1, 2, about 3 feet there, and then double. Hold on to the middle and then just double your string and cut it there. I'm now going to switch to this larger, thicker yarn so that it will be easier for you to see what I'm doing. So once you have your 4 colors, find the midpoint, tie a very simple knot, leaving that loop at the top. All right, that's going to be your starting point. Now, when you're making a friendship bracelet, you do need to secure it to something. I really like to use a clipboard in my lap. So I'll show you with this stand-up clipboard here how I'm just going to clip just above the knot there, and that's going to help you keep your strings. It's going to give you a flat surface to work on, and it's going to work really nicely to secure it. And you can move it further up as you progress on the bracelet. Now, if you don't have a clipboard, that's fine. You can put a safety pin through that knot, pin it to the knee of your jeans and work that way, pin it to a couch cushion, or what I'm going to demonstrate today is just tape it to a tabletop, and that works well too. Okay, once we've got those steps done, we're ready to start our bordered chevron bracelet with beads. For this bracelet, you're going to set up your 8 strands with the color that you want for the border on the far left and the far right. These 2 black strands are going to stay here throughout the bracelet. Then you're going to set up the rest of the colors in your regular chevron pattern. So you're going to have color number 2 comes next, color number 3, then color number 4 is going to be right next to each other in the middle there. For every row on this bracelet, you are going to be creating a little border knot, and it's going to be the same every time. So first I'm going to work from left to right. So I'm going to tie the black around the red. I'm going to make the number 4, go under and through. I'm going to hold that red one down straight as I pull the knot up. You don't want to do this. Do you see how it flipped the colors? That will ruin your knot. So you're going to hold that red one down straight as you pull up the knot. Now this is a little different than a normal friendship bracelet knot. Instead of double knotting left to right, I'm going to move this over from right to left, backwards for under and through, and I'm going to knot in the opposite direction, and that black is going to stay on the edge here. Okay, and I'm going to do that with every row, and then I'm going to go over and do it on the opposite side. So except this time I'm going to do from right to left, so a backwards 4, under and through, hold that red one down straight, and then I'm going to do the opposite direction, under and through, and the black stays on the outside. Now for the rest of the row, I'm going to set those black ones aside, and I'm just going to make a basic chevron with these 6 middle strands. So the chevron is simple. You're going to go from left to right, double knotting in the same direction until the color that you started with gets to the middle. Okay, so in this case, it's the red that's going to be in the middle now. Now I'm going to do that from right to left. So I'm going to do the backwards 4, hold the yellow down straight, under and through, double knot, same thing on the next strand. Okay, now when both of the reds are in the middle, we need to knot these to each other. And it doesn't matter which way you do it. I'm just going to continue right to left. Double knot as always. All right, you completed your first bordered chevron. So you keep knotting with the chevron, starting of course with your border stitches on each side, and then doing the chevron stitch until you're ready to add your beads. I like to go either 3 rows or 6 rows before I add a bead, but it's up to you what you want to do with that. When you're ready to add your beads, you are going to string your beads on the 2 center strings together. You want to make sure that you choose beads that have holes big enough to go over both the strands, or you can also use a needle to thread those beads on. Okay, just put that snug up against the knots. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create some rows to surround the beads to make a border there. So we are going to make our border stitch as usual. So left to right and then right to left on each side. Right to left and left to right on this one. Okay, and then we're going to do something a little different. Tie string 2 onto string 3. Double knot, same direction, left to right. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, except right to left. Double knot. Okay, and we're going to continue that pattern on each side until we get to the bottom of where the beads are. Okay, so we've done that pattern until both sides are the length of the beads. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to start with that chevron pattern again with the border. So just like we did at the very beginning, we make our border first, left to right, right to left. And do the chevron and just enclose those beads. Just going to continue on with the bracelet that way, adding the beads periodically until the friendship bracelet is as long as you would like. Let's take a look at our bordered chevron in process here with the embroidery floss. So you can see that I've done a pattern of 6 chevrons and then a single bead, 6 more chevrons, a single bead. So I'm going to do that 3 or 4 times until the friendship bracelet is as long as I would like. So I've just made the knotting to make the borders on the side of the beads, and they're about the right length now. So this is the point where I start with the chevron again. So as usual, you're going to make your border knots with the black. So I'm going to go left to right and then right to left. On each side. Now I'll do the opposite, right to left and left to right. And the black strands are always going to stay on the outside. Now I'm just going to make a chevron and enclose that bead in there. So now all of my knots are going to be double knots left to right until this red takes the middle position. And we want to get the knot just snug up against that bead, not too tight, because you still want to make that nice triangular chevron pattern, but enough to keep the bead snugly in place. All right, form the other half of my chevron by going right to left, double knotting. When the bracelet is as long as you'd like, tie a knot at the end, trim the raw edges, and you're ready to go.